Hello everyone, welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. We are hobby hanging out while we wait for the Nova Reveals show. For those who don't know, Games Workshop has a ton of reveals. We're doing a live reaction to said reveals as well. And yeah, going to be a ton of fun. So let's get cracking on. Who do we have in the chat? John Revan, hello. If you're joining us live, drop a like and say hello. Just edit that little bit. There we go. That's better. But yeah, hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're all excited for some more Warhammer reveals, some more Warhammer that's going to get you all excited. So, let's get my wet palette ready. I'm working on some Daughters of Cain because I had to submit an army list for a tournament next month. Army list doesn't have to be submitted for a little bit yet, but I'm just like, you know what? I need to put something down on paper to get myself moving. And we've got a couple of other things we want to spend money on this month, so I was like, well, it needs to be an army that I don't have to buy anything for. And so that ended up being my Daughters of Cain. And you can see they're blue. I'm going to do blue-skinned elves. We're going to give this a crack. Just give me a sec. That should be... What's that? And so, yeah, we're going to do a blue-skinned Daughters of Cain. Don't want that terrible brush. But how is everyone doing? If you're in the chat, let us know how you are, where you're from, what you're doing, what hobby you're working on lately, and most importantly, what you're excited to see from the GW reveals today. Quite excited because I would probably say we're likely to see the Leagues of Votann properly. Which is going to be exciting. I'm quite excited to see like a full roster for the Leagues of Votann. Jonathan, you're working on the new Warcry set and your Legionaries and Centaur. Nice. The new Warcry minis are amazing. We should have some more Warcry bat reps starting up again sometime soon. Yeah. So we're just going to go about layering all the skin up before we do the wash. Yeah, we know we're not going to get any Warcry or Kill Team stuff. We know the 4 game systems they are revealing are going to be Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, Horus Heresy, and Warhammer Underworlds. So we know what we're getting already. We know game system-wise what we're getting at least. So there won't be any Warcry with this, which doesn't surprise me. We just had a ton of Warcry news on the last one. Warcry was, one of the bigger reveals from the last one. It would. I don't know if I would like it personally. It'd certainly be interesting. I don't know whether I'd like it though. I like it just be another destruction battle tome that is combining books, which destruction just seems to get continuously done to it with everything sort of being lumped into less and less books, which I sort of think sucks a little bit for destruction. Yeah, Underworlds is still a thing, Revan. I've certainly been organizing all my cards, mainly because that Witch Hunter Warband has definitely excited me a little bit, because I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so we know the 4 game systems that are going to be previewed. We know nothing more than that. Put out their teasers, but the teasers don't always mean certainty. Go, man, just want a new Gits tome? Yeah, I'd be quite happy with a new Gits tome. Yeah, the Underworlds kits are amazing. I stand by that. There is not a game with better miniatures as a whole product than Warhammer Underworlds anywhere. The overall quality, because there's not a bad miniature in there. Dude, we are just waiting for the GW reveals. We're just hobbying, hanging out, and chatting at the moment. Nicholas, this is a one-day show. They've only posted about it one day, so as far as I know, it's one day. Considering it's got all 4, well, 3 of, I guess, the 3 major systems. Yeah, John, that would be cool. But yeah, considering it's got their 3 major systems on it, I would say it's a one-day thing because 40k, AOS, and Horus Heresy all on the same day. To me, it just, yeah. Yeah, I'd be quite happy with a look at Dawnbringer Crusades. I think we'll probably see another snippet. We're not going to see models. We're going to see, or we might see, some concepts and stuff like that. But I think Dawnbringers is a while away. The fact they only showed some renderings of bits and pieces, to me, says it's a while away. They're still working on the concepts and the ideas. Surrogate Hex, current project is the Daughters of Cain army. I've got to get these girls ready for Hobart GT in pretty much about a month. I was like, I'm and ahhing what I was going to take, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just submit an army list, and then we have to do something. So it's going to be my Daughters of Cain. Yeah, it's going to be. So I'm going to do very bright blue skinned elves. So the base coat is Calidor Sky from GW, and now I'm doing a layer of Techless blue on top of that. So we're going to have some tough fudge cookies. Yeah, that could be a cool thing. Another incarnate. Certainly, the leap that, well, I guess the accident they put up, I think might be something ogre-ish. Which I'd be really excited for an ogre army. The accent. Give me a sec. I think I saved it in my photos. Yeah, get ready to claim new trophies with the Blood Pelt Hunter. Check out the new Ogre miniature revealed at the Nova Open. So we know we've got an Ogre miniature coming. Still a lot of things surrounding what that exactly is. Because are we going to see Sons of Behemoth and Ogres combined? Are we going to see those two being the books? Are we not going to see Gits at all? Well, there's the rumor, Hex. There's the rumors about Sons and Ogres being combined. So if that were the case, then we would get Gits. But if it's not the case, yeah, I put my thoughts in the last sort of video going on. You know, the reason maybe we got the big Loon Shrine update was because Gits aren't going to see a book for a bit. Slightly larger brush than that. But yeah, I'll be quite excited to see what we're going to see. Bar Sons, I do have every destruction army. So I've got Ogres, I've got a Gits army, I've got Orcs. So Ogres and Gits I'm quite hopeful to see something for because I've got both armies, both painted up as well. But yeah, I'd be quite happy to sort of see what we're gonna get for them. Fun enough, I'm actually most excited for the 40k because I really want to see the Leagues of Votann in full. I want to see what that army is going to look like. For those who don't know, I attended my first Warhammer 40k GT this past weekend. Was a ton of fun. Actually ended up going 2-4. Got a couple of wins. I was quite happy to get a couple of wins on my first event. Especially taking a far from optimal list. And yeah, quite enjoyed my time playing some 40k. So we might have some more events coming up for that I'll be quite excited to take part in. Yeah, that'd be really cool, Nick. Like, if they're going to update anything, upgrade the man crushers, the babies. Great. Like, there's very rare. People like to go, oh, tournaments have this particular thing, but I played a bunch of great opponents. This one was 70 something players, 72, I think, and was a ton of fun. I mean this in the nicest way. It was a 40k tournament, which is where most people throw shade at. It's quite funny because I played a lovely dude in one of the rounds when I was flying maybe a little bit too high for my own good. He absolutely pantsed me. He was a really, really good player. But it was nice seeing a top table tournament player come in with an army and then have a full background story for his army. So he was not only crushing me, but he knew all the narrative for his army. It just made a really cool for a really cool game because he like straight away you're just like, this is going to be fun. But yeah, I always enjoy my large scale big tournaments. Just straight as the bristles. brush is a little bit too big. I gotta clean out my brushes and actually grab the ones that are still good. I can, but I don't like getting paint on my hands. You know your stuff's non-toxic, so it's all water-based paint. Guys, hello mate. Well, we're doing pretty well. Yourself? Nova Open starts in about an hour's time from now, I think. So we normally just come, hobby, and hang out and chat a little bit before the reveals. Oh, thank you very much, mate. Glad you enjoy it all the way from Poland there. Yeah, for once it is a little bit late for Europe, because the reveal show's happening at Nova, which is oh, thanks very much, Jonathan. Glad you enjoy the Black Library reports. We've been smashing through, almost finished Hollow King. and then we'll move on to Dreki Flint's novel. Another better one. I think there's not enough people that talk about Black Library stuff. It's really cool. I enjoy my... When I'm hobbying, when I'm not streaming, I'm nearly always listening to a Black Library book. Yeah, I'm not got much left on Holly King. I did just finish up before that End Times, full of outdoor, which was a lot of fun. I got a couple to go back on after that, so I've got a couple of 40k ones that came out last week, and so I'll have Dreki Flint. I then got Blackstone Fortress. I got that, and I was just starting to start the Horus Heresy again. Yeah, I wouldn't say too many. Like, gaming is that thing. I think a lot of people really enjoy the game, but it is the thing most people spend the least amount of time doing. Most people spend more time hobbying, more time doing lore. Like, so I like to look at it this. Without the minis and the lore and all of that, I might as well go play chess. The game is really cool, but it is just the game at the end. It is the minis that sell me on a game. All the games I play, whether it's Conquest, whether it's Moonstone, Elder Scrolls, all of that, I play those games because I like the narrative and the minis of those games. Like with Moonstone, I had bought the minis for Moonstone before I'd even read any of the rules. And then I went and watched the battle report to know sort of what I'd got myself into. So the blue guys I'm painting right now, I'm actually painting some Daughters of Cain. I'm going to do blue-skinned elves, like bright blue-skinned elves. So I've got Hobart GT, where I'll be traveling over to Hobart, which is in Tasmania, Australia. I hate sitting in a room of silence or like being by myself when I'm hobbying. So I find like the audiobooks are really nice for me to get stuff done. It's not everyone how everyone can work. Everyone has their own different things, but yeah. Especially when I'm painting like batches like this and doing like very basic sort of stuff like I'm doing now. Having an audiobook on during this, I really enjoy. Or, you know, live streaming, because this does the same thing. Just gives me I've got you guys to chat to. Yeah, Hollow King is good. I wouldn't say it's the most amazing Black Library novel I've read, but it is good. Like, it is enjoyable. The character, the storyline, I'm partway through it, and I don't want to spoil anything. The storyline is good. I would say, like, by far, what they've really made good in that story is Kato is really, really cool. The main character is why you're reading that, not the story or anything he's going from. Kato himself is interesting, and they don't have many characters that are like that. I put him on the level of, like, and it's like the interesting part of, like, you look at a story, okay, and something like Gotrek. Gotrek isn't actually the most interesting part of his stories. It's the stuff that Gotrek gets up to that is what makes a Gotrek novel interesting. While Kato's story, he is the interesting part of the story, 100%. Where it's finding more out about Kato that is making this book interesting, rather than the actual story that Kato is taking place. It's what the story is making me learn about Kato that makes this book interesting. Does that make sense to anyone? A Gotrek story, it's all about what Gotrek gets up to, where this one is all about what you learn about Kato through the course of the story. Which I think is very good, because they've, like, obviously released minis for these. I want to keep learning more about Kato. And so I think they've done a good job on it. I really like this idea of bringing out characters in a Black Library for a Black Library book. I want to see more of this. But yeah, I'll read Drecky Flint's novel after this one, and then I'll probably go. I've got the Wraithbone Phoenix, and the other one that came out, Outgunned, to listen to. Blackstone Fortress, I still have downloaded. I downloaded Stormvault. I can never actually listen to that one. So I've got Stormvault by Andy Clark there. I got both models on the way for myself. And so don't forget, everyone, if you are watching, to drop a like on the video. It helps other people while we're live, especially come find and hang out and chat with us. yeah, I never actually started to it. So I got that. What else have I got? Give me a sec. Because it's always cheaper. Every time I just reload Audible, I always just get 3. So what have I got? Not started. I've got the second part of the Tempest Mechanicus. I've got Lords of Mars to start. I've read Priests of Mars. I've got Lords of Mars. I did grab Horus Rising because, like I said, I'm going to restart reading the Horus Heresy. And then, yeah, I've got Outgunned, Wraithbone Phoenix, Stormvault, Archanaut's Oath, and Blackstone Fortress Ascension. Dwight Hall, hello, mate. How are we? Hope you're doing well. Just waiting for the reveal show to start, which probably starts in about, what's that, 50 minutes? I think that's correct. No, less. Yeah, 50 minutes. Well, I'm going to have 2 major centerpiece panels for this army. I've got Marathi to paint up and the Incarnate. Marathi is going to be a fun one. I've gotten over the fear of something I can't do anymore. I think that fear doesn't happen. I do have my big limited edition piece for my Old Dominion, my Fallen Divinity for my Old Dominion for Conquest. Big expensive mini that is no longer available. So, yeah, my army for Hobart GT, I'm going to have a unit of 20 Witch Elves, 2 units of 10 Witch Elves, a unit of 10 Doomfire Warlocks, because I love the minis, and I want to use Doomfire Warlocks. I've got Marathi, a High Gladiatrix, the Incarnate of Gur, and then on top of that, I have a Purple Sun. So once you get these Witch Elves done, there'll be the majority, will pretty much be all the troops done. I've then got 10 Doomfire Warlocks to get done. Warlocks are also, people are sleeping on them. I think they are amazing. As a bounty hunter unit, they can really pack a punch. But yeah, like I said, I had Hobart GT and I kept umming and ahhing what I was going to take. We've got some financial stuff that needs to be sorted out for them, so money has to go elsewhere effectively. So sort of push my Sylvaneth back because I'd rather not spend like $200 on a cut on some woods that are needed for the army. So they'll just get pushed back a little bit. And so I have everything for my Daughters of Cain armies. So that's why we went with Daughters of Cain in the end. Oh, nice. I am working on some Daughters of Cain for Hobart GT. Age of Sigmar GT. Here in Australia. down in Tasmania. Oh, that sounds really cool, Revan. Nice crisis suits, Chow. I avoided Chow completely at the 40k GT I went to. I didn't have to play any Chow, so that was a positive. Actually had an army that probably could deal with Chow okay because I was really, really fast. So if I got the first turn against Chow, I would be up in their grill turn 1 easily. So I didn't have the worst army to actually play Chow with. 40k GT, what did I play? So I took Ulthway Eldar. Eldrad was an absolute boss. And I played, first game, I played Tyranids. Second game, I played Grey Knights, which was one of my 2 wins. I then played Sisters Battle. Day 2, I played Harlequins, which I won as well. And then played, to end the tournament, Dark Angels and Space Wolves, which was really cool. And the 2 Marine armies, one of them was Dark Angels with bikers everywhere, so all Ravenwing Dark Angels. And then I played a Dreadnought heavy Space Wolves list, which was really cool because it meant, like, you know, they were as far apart for Space Marine forces as you can possibly get. Yeah, if you're watching, drop a like on the video. Let us know what you're up to as well. But yeah, so got Hobart, had a 40k GT, got Hobart GT, maybe got another 40k event. So if I can get this done, I'll paint a different 40k army. I might finish up my Emperor Spears and take them to a little one-dayer. But if I don't have time, I'll just take the Eldar again. Doesn't have to be painted, but if not one-dayers, I like having a painted army. It makes me feel good. So I'll paint another blue army after this, and I've got some Old Dominion on the paint desk as well. Robin, hello mate, how are we? That's good, man. Good to hear. Oh, you're magnetizing some sanguinary guard. Nice. Yeah, I got to magnetize these ladies later. Well, just the bases, but it's a time-consuming process. I had my first use of my brand new magnetic case, and I'm completely sold on magnetic cases now. Like, I can't believe I've gone this long without a magnetic case for my army to travel with. It was amazing. Oh, nice. Oh, Fire Slayer's army. Chris, hello. How are we, mate? Nice. Yeah, I do. I like that the Fire Slayers can run the Magma Dropper army now. It does make them a lot more appealing as a faction. Got a small Fire Slayers force. Myself. Definitely need to get some more troops to increase it up to a 2k army, but oh, nice. Watching from Canada. Nice. Got people from all over in the chat. It's awesome. It always is like my favorite part. One of my like things I really love to do. I love going into like my YouTube analytics and seeing where people are from in the world. Like, because it doesn't tell me where. It tells me like Canada. It doesn't tell me anything more than that. If you're concerned with your privacy and all of that, it tells me nothing more than that basic stuff. But it is fun, like seeing all the different countries, and you go, "Wow!" I had some viewers from like Latvia the other day, to name one, or I had some people from what was the other one? Vietnam. It's like these, or what was it? Oh, Faroe Islands was another one. I have had this Faroe Islands, and it's like there's like one viewer from Faroe Islands, and I'm like, I don't know where you are from, but if you're my one Faroe Islands viewer, I recognize you. That's cool. Oh, no. I mean, it makes sense. It's a Commonwealth country. I'm third generation Australian. My grandmother is from England. Oh, 2 secs. Ah! I forgot to get the wife the remote for the kiddies. For the kids to have the TV, not a remote that controls the kids. No. But yeah, if you're watching, please don't forget to drop a like on the video. It does help people come find us, enjoy it. Let's everyone join in the hobby and the chat here. We're going to be getting back to doing a lot more regular hobby hangouts. I really, really enjoy them. Love coming and chatting with everyone. It's always nice, especially to come like chat with people who, you know, you guys are the bread and butter of the channel. You support the channel, you watch the videos, you allow me and have allowed me to do this full time now. So I am eternally grateful. Yeah, funnily enough, I've got a mate that's moving over to Canada as well. I'm not sure what part of Canada he's moving over into. I have a mate who's very, well, I won't say definitely, but I'll say very likely moving over to Canada. Thank you very much. Also, for anyone watching, a little bit of shameless self-promotion here. You can join our YouTube members, which helps support the channel greatly. If you want to, for a couple of bucks a month, you can click the link down in the video's description. YouTube members, you get your name up in red, like someone like Robin there. But you also get to use our cool little emotes in the chats. And as we get more YouTube members, I'll be able to get more of these cool little emotes done for everyone. Yep. I'll always try and make myself most available if I can for chats about lists and anything Warhammer related. You can also join our Discord. Avelion, evening mates. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Mason, I will answer that question in 2 secs. I'm just going to go for a quick little break. Just going to go give the wife something. I'll be back in just a second, everyone. Sorry about that. Turns out I took the kiddies remote TV in here. So to answer your question, Mason, what stuff do you think we're going to see? Remember trying to keep chat spoilers free. I definitely think we're going to see whatever those 2 destruction tomes are. We're going to see them revealed. I think we're going to see Votann. The rumors that came out the other day say that Votann is in front of guard. So I think we might see both. Could be really cool. The fact there's only 4 games at something like Nova, to me, suggests we are going to see something. If we're going to see Heresy, I want to see Assault Marines, because I think once we see Assault Marines, that's like the baseline stuff done for Heresy. You know, you've got Assault Marines, we've already got heavy and special weapons. So that sort of sets everything in a line nicely. Gives us sort of like the basic to go with. Jet bikes would be cool though, Chris. I'd really like to see some Horus Heresy jet bikes. That's a really cool shout. Underworlds, we're probably going to see that Corn Warband and probably get some update on what the future is going to look like for Underworlds, because, yeah, we really don't know what's happening with that. Yeah, that's a good shout. Definitely a good shout, Avelian. Got my Age of Darkness box. I've got to get that painted up. Rerolling ones, Jack. No, we've got 4 game systems. So we got the 3 major systems in 40k, AOS, and Horus Heresy, and then Underworlds Underworlds as well. Words hard to do. Battlefield Gothic would be cool. I don't think we're going to see it today, but if there's one game system, one specialist game, I'd love to see them bring back. It is most certainly Battlefield Gothic. I think it's the one that's like missing for me. You know, people go, "Oh, but Mordheim." I'm like, yeah, but we do have Kill Team, Necromunda, and and Kill Team all sort of do the job that Necromunda that Mordheim does. For me, Battlefield Gothic, I guess you could say we've got Aeronautica Imperialis, but it's not sort of the same, is it? Like, one's fighter jets, one's like spaceships. Do have some Aeronautica, though. I picked that up. I really like the game. It's nice. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Old World for a couple of years. I think we'll see 40k 10th edition before we'll see anything Old World. And I'm going to be honest, there's plenty of stuff out there from GW. They keep pumping out more stuff, plus other game companies I play. You know, I've got enough to do without Old World being there. Alpha Legion upgrades. I don't think you'll see any upgrade sprues today. Maybe the only upgrades I think we might see is we might see another heavy weapon box with the other heavy weapons to actually make like proper heavy weapon squads instead of just missiles and heavy bolters. So you might see another box set come out for them, which would be pretty sweet. No, so yeah, we just play 8th edition where I am locally. Yeah, real long as Jack. Yeah, that's what I want. Even something like the Scarbrand kit, how it, or like, actually, probably a better example is the Knights in 40k. So when Knights originally came out, you had the effectively there was like 3 types of Knights. So there were 3 different weapon loadouts in that initial box, and then what they actually did was they gave you the next Knight model that actually came out was the same chassis, so the same core Knight, but the weapon upgrades they swapped the 3 out for another 2 different ones. And so then you had 5 different weapon loadouts for your Knights, or you could buy one of each box and mix and match. Because one of them had like the Power Fist and the other one had the Chain Glaive, so you would need to buy both boxes to build like a Chain Fist one with the gun on the other one. And so something like that could really work for the Gargants, you know. But I'm not sure. I haven't had a proper look at the Gargant kit. So maybe they just throw an upgrade sprue and charge, you know, another $20. $20 Australian. I don't know whether they thought that out as well, if whether the bodies are the same sort of build. Like they did with the Bloodthirsters, where Scarbrand is a couple of different pieces on top of the regular Bloodthirster kit. Here's some different parts. But yeah, it could be a cool way to do it. I thought, like, the 2 things missing, a wizard, like, it's obviously want Gargants to have wizards with the wizard hat they've already done there. They don't want them to be priests. So a Gargant wizard would be really cool, and maybe like some sort of like range Gargant, give him like a giant, either a cannon or a giant like ballista or something like that. Could be cool. I honestly don't want to see Gargants and Ogres combined. Because I feel for destruction at that point. Just every army seems to get combined with destruction. Mecha Gargant. That'd be cool. That is just Imperial Knights, isn't it? Voskry. I'm guessing some cities of Sigmar, but full releases for Slaves and Sons of Behemoth. Yeah, I think for AOS, definitely, we're probably going to see the Tzeentch and Lumineth actual battle tomes shown, which would be cool. We'll then see, I think you're right, we'll probably see an update for the Dawnbringer Crusades and just sort of how that project is going. And then we'll probably see the announcement of the 2 destruction tomes. I don't think we'll see too much Slaves. I think Slaves were only shown at the last one because it got leaked. Yeah, so I should express that. If it's like Warclans, Jack, I don't care. If it's combined, if it gives you the option of 3 and maybe a combined force, fine with that. Completely fine with that. If it's something like cities where they lose all that individuality and become a mixed force, I'm not as keen for that. You know, for those who've been playing long enough and remember before cities, we had, you know, the cool Wanderer rules, the cool Darkling Covens, Free Guild, Dispossessed, all of them had their unique rules. And then they lost all of that in the combination of cities. As much as I love cities, that was not the coolest thing. I would like to see that stay. But, yeah, if it's like Warclans, I'm not as fussed. If it's a book that comes out but allows them to remain, you know, the independent factions on their own, cool. Yeah, Warclans is Warclans is the best example of combining stuff to make it. Still, every army retains their uniqueness. I don't think we're going to see Malarians, Elves in the next year. For me, just Avelian, I don't think we're going to see the cities kits disappear. I think they'll just get shoved over to Old World. I think that would be the smartest decision they can make, is just all those old kits become Old World kits. And you know what? You probably keep a lot of Cities of Sigmar players happy if you do that. Like, in a perfect world, that would be the ultimate move, is going, yep, we've range refreshed, we've got rid of cities, we've now got Dawnbringer Crusades, this is the new way we're doing it. But all those models you had, they're available to play in Old World. Got to rebase them back to squares, but they're available in Old World. I haven't had a chance, because that came out the weekend I was at the GT, so I really haven't had a good chance to look at Chaos Demons in 40k yet. We'll certainly be getting onto that and getting our Start Collecting videos and stuff out for it. The only video I did for that was the Age of Sigmar one, because obviously that didn't change. But yeah, you can expect having a look at that properly and sort of looking at how Chaos Demons are going to work. I do think that's an interesting thing. Like, they do take things. Yeah, heaps of people thought we were going to see that for Dwarves. There were so many rumors that was what we were going to see for Fireslayers and KO. That didn't end up being the case. Fireslayers remain their own army. I think that's where a couple of Destruction players get salty, is that something like Fireslayers that has such a limited model range retains its independence, where Ogres, which rightfully have their own like full, roster, don't retain their independence. Aside for a second, and we will get set up for streaming. So in about 17 minutes, we'll have live. Best thing you can do with your Eidolon, I would just tackle a piece. Whoops, that's not the sound I want. Set offline at the moment. We'll just wait a bit. A little bit. Yes, it is Thursday, September 1st. September 1st. 15 minutes, yep. We'll jump on over. Oh, here's a long. Oh. To August 30th. Yeah, I am in Futureland. Still trying to figure out myself what color I'm going to do the cloth on these ladies. Because they're going to be blue skin, I'm going to do like very vibrant green bases on them. Revenar, what mini? These are witch elves. I'm doing like a blue skin on my witch elves. Something a little different. But I really can't decide what I want to do for a the hair is going to be red. Might just do like black cloth on them. Let's see, what have we got? Right, cool. Yeah. So they're going to have bright red hair. They'll have the green. So because they're going to have bright red hair, I don't want to do red cloth on them as well. So it'll probably just be something like black cloth on them. Maybe even white. Alrighty. Got this going. Broken Chef, hello mate. How are we? Alrighty, so here's a sec. We are going to sort this out. Alrighty. Alright. So let us know when the sound is fine. Let's go double check this is working. Come on. I had a friend who was scratching at my door. Come here. Up. There she is. Hello. Hello. Come say hello to everyone. So this is my doggo. This is Keela the doggo. Can't see you. Come here. Up. This is Keela, my Dalmatian. Say hello, everyone. Yeah. I'm saying hello. Cool. Awesome. Sound works great. That's good. Oh, James, hello. Welcome to the Discord. Well, not the Discord, the chat. I mean, it is a bit of Discord in here, but... Alrighty. Well, you got to go back outside now, girl. Come on. Come on. Off we go. Off we go. Say hello to everyone. Come on. Okay. Good girl. Yeah, I've got a Dally. She is my sweetie. Yeah, she's not happy now. Let she come in. She's normally not allowed in this room, but she was whining a bit, so we let her come in for a bit. So we are waiting now for the live stream to begin. It should start about 6 or 7 minutes. Sound fine for everyone. Their sound's not it. We got to check the sound when they get on and do their greetings. Oh, that's bad. All right, so now's the chance to get in some last-minute predictions. What do we think we're going to see? What do we want to see? Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see too much guard. Like, obviously we've had the leaks, but they didn't show them. So maybe we'll see some guard. Apparently the rumors are Votann is coming before guard, so I think we're definitely going to see Votann. Yeah, try and keep leaks and spoilers out of the chat. Let everyone here enjoy the reveals. We try to keep spoilers and everything free. Oh, and you're talking about the guard leaks that came out a while ago. Yep. Yes, we have seen some guard leaks before. But yeah, we try and keep everything spoiler free. Well, yeah, 40k GT went pretty good, Broken Chef. I went 4-2, 2-4, sorry, 2-4, not 4-2. 4-2 would have been amazing. I went 2-4, which was pretty sweet. But we'll leave the painting there for now because should be kicking off soon. So yeah. Yeah, working on some daughters. I got Hobart GT coming up early next month. In fact, the 1st and 2nd of next month. So and hello, Domir, completely missed you there. Everyone in the chat, sound out what you're up to, what hobby you've been working on, say hi. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. It helps people come join us and see. So yeah. And also, if you want to, you can join our YouTube members, link in the video's description, or our Patreon as well, which all goes to help support the channel and keep us doing what we do on the channel. So, massive thanks to everyone who does it. But we are going to be going live with these reveals soon. We've got 4 of them today. So, and that'll be it for the Nova. So we're going to have... what are we going to have? We've got Warhammer Horus Heresy, Warhammer 40k, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and Warhammer Underworlds. Nice, Travis, working on some Kill Team Terrain. Pink Nico Fire, hello there, mate. Welcome. And also, if you're a YouTube member on this chat, you'll get access to the cool little emotes that our YouTube members can use, which will be cool. And the more YouTube members we get, the more of the emotes I can unlock and we can use and chat with each other. Plan is going forward to be doing at least 3 hobby hangouts a week as I move into doing this full time, which is pretty exciting. Presentation 90 minutes. That's pretty cool. I was expecting a little bit more. Not that I was expecting more than what it is. I was expecting a decent time here for each one. I would say, you know, we're probably going to see maybe about 15 minutes at Underworlds and the rest of that time split between the other 3 game systems. Probably with, I would say, 40k and Age of Sigmar taking precedence. I enjoy Horus Heresy. I love the narrative for the Horus Heresy. I've got the Age of Darkness box I'm going to build up. We're going to split it into 2 different forces. So I'm going to build... maybe I just build it as one army. I don't know. Age of Darkness, we're going to build it. Oh, nice. Prepping some stuff there, Red Martin. Yeah, so I've got some Daughters of Cain on the paint table. We'll get finishing them after stream today. And then for Hobart GT, I've got 40 Witch Elves to paint. I've got 10 Doomfire Warlocks. I need to finish my Purple Sun. I've got Marathi, High Gladiatrix, and the Incarnate. All right. So they're live. Let us know how our sound is. Can you hear them in our sound?
We are delighted to have you with us today. Eddie, what is Nova Open and what are we
Thanks, Adam. Absolute pleasure to be here. We're super excited about all the Warhammer we're going to be showing you. The Nova Open is an event that is happening right now in the United States, in Washington, D.C., and about a few hundred people in a room in the Nova Open have just sat down and enjoyed a preview of some cool upcoming Warhammer stuff. Awesome. They got a chance to see it first because they were at the event, and we like to support local independent events, which is cool. But obviously, we want to share all the cool news with everybody around the world as well. So we're going to tell you all the stuff.
So just a reminder, everyone, keep spoilers out. Let everyone here enjoy the reveal show. They're quiet. How's that going?
Games Workshop, Warhammer sort of supports wholeheartedly. It's been a couple of years since the last Nova because of the whole pandemic and everything. And it is lovely for that to be
quiet.
We've got,
what about now?
The events team there in full force, and Pete Foley, sort of head of the Warhammer Book and Box Game Studio, has been part of that presentation, and we get to bring you all that same information live, direct to wherever you are watching through the internet right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice time for Warhammer.
I mean, we don't need to listen to them ramble. We're all about the stream. They're just going to ramble on for a little bit, so we'll leave them.
Some Warhammer events recently, and
I've been getting in amongst it.
We'll lower them for a bit. But yeah, this is your last chance to get in some predictions. What are we going to see? Don't forget to drop a like on the video as well, as it helps people come join and chat with us all. But I'm going to beat them to it. Where is everyone watching from here? Love to see. It's always my favorite part of seeing where everyone is from.
The event organisers put a lot of effort into making sure each one feels like a real occasion. So when I played there a few years back, I battled through the ruins of Minas Tirith, and I battled through sort of a raging river across log bridges and all sorts of things. It was really good.
Yeah. So if you do get a chance at some point to go to
A couple of Canadians in there. Nice. Michigan, Virginia. I'm assuming you mean Virginia, USA, because Virginia is 5 minutes down the road from me. Here in Adelaide.
I'm going to make a bespoke comment just for you about the bespoke
Next to NASA, nice.
Happy drinking.
Washington.
So, why are we here and what are we doing?
Quebec, East Coast US, Mississippi.
Hour or so, Eddie and I are going to bring you some amazing previews.
Poland. J. Durthu, hello, mate. 2 at night right now.
We've got some Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We've got some Warhammer Underworlds. And we've got some Horus Heresy.
We do. It's all true.
So there's a lot to enjoy. Before we get into that, I want to do the thing I always do. I've seen somebody already shout it out, but I want to know where you are tuning in from to join us in this live stream today. It's a different time. Normally it's in our daytime, but it's the middle of the night. I snuck out of a house full of sleeping tropes to come and talk Warhammer with all you lot.
Good work to anyone who's currently joining us from the UK or Europe, because we are in the small hours.
There is a lot. There is a block cap Scotland, loads of UK's, Gloucestershire, but also, oh my goodness, it's going so fast, New Hampshire, New York, Seattle, Puerto Rico, Dallas, Texas, Kansas, Belgium. Somebody says no one cares. I super care, so tough luck.
Someone there,
2 a.m. in Norway. Well done. Thanks for joining us.
Some people there actually from Washington DC. So I'm wondering why you're not at the Nova Open right now.
I would be hard pressed. Haven't
Yeah, jokes on them. Beat him to it. But yeah, it's always fun seeing where everyone's from. I love seeing where everyone's from on the channel. It's always my favorite part, looking at where I've got people from.
Serbia, Bath, I assume.
Georgia. I'm assuming you mean the state, not the country. Be cool if you meant the country. To see all these Caledonia, MI is MI
thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of your time in your day or night. I think also
Mississippi or Michigan?
Down in Australian land or New Zealand or anywhere in that sort of time zone, because you get to do this at the most civilized hour imaginable, right? This is
over breakfast. Yeah.
So enjoy your breakfast. I hope you have a nice one. Eddie, before we go much further, have you done much Warhammer hobby lately?
So I've been doing a little bit of Age of Sigmar.
For Alligator Warrior, I always forget. I'm not American, remember that. So I am guessing with state acronyms in the US. I know a few of them. Michigan, cool. Glad I got it. It doesn't help there's like 50 different acronyms, and some of them are not what they should be.
An event later this month, so hopefully I'll get them painted up in time for that, or I'll just take another one.
Nice one. I have an event a week on Saturday. I'm going to. This will be like the third or fourth one in the space of a few months. It's the Middle Earth Teams event at Warhammer World.
Nice.
And I'm rolling out the Iron Hills Dwarfs for the third time in a row at events. But it's a bigger points value, so I need to paint more. So I'm looking to do some kit bashes and conversions.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty likely for Age of Sigmar we see the Zinch and Lumineth battle tomes. Probably see the destruction ones announced.
Iron Hills Brigadier. I'm going to see how that goes. And I need to do some more crossbow guys. Yeah, so my arm's going to be small. A lot of heroes, not many models.
As it should be.
Should be fun though, right?
Do let us know what you're up to as well. If you're doing a hobby at home,
Yeah, if you're doing any hobby at home, let us know what you've been working on as well.
So far, Dingwood says, can confirm Australia is on second breakfast and it's good. So nice one. Yes, right. So we've got people working on Heresy Word Bearers. Someone says painting up some Soul Blight. Building my third Leviathan Dreadnought for Death Guard.
It is a lot easier to build Leviathan Dreadnoughts now than it was a few months ago.
So my secret shame is that I have a unmade forge-rolled resin Leviathan Dreadnought that I've had for quite some time. And I've already bought a new plastic one as well. I think I should do them.
Oh, painting some Maiden Guard of the Everqueen, nice. Working on a Bellacore.
Oh, no, that's an amazing one.
Yeah. So I've just got a feeling that it might be Leviathan Fantastic, but I've got to get through. I built a squad of Space Marines with all rocket launchers.
Yep.
So 10 rocket launchers. They look so good.
I've got some resin contemptors in a box for the Thousand Sun versions. I've already got 3. I don't know why I own the other ones. I think I got really excited when the contemptors came out of resin for the first time. So,
Yeah, some of the American, like in Australia, they're super simple. South Australia, SA, Western Australia, WA, Northern Territory, NT, New South Wales, NSW. Victoria is only one word, so it's VIC, and Tasmania is only one word, so it's TAS. Queensland is the only really weird one with QLD.
Shoot yawns to finish painting. Cool. Oh, before and after models. That's nice. I like that idea a lot. Night Lord Legionaries. There's a lot of Horus Heresy. I think you guys are going to be pleased. Towards the end of this presentation, we have some Horus Heresy for you. Orc Bonebreaker. Comment, Adam, for the Lion. Yes, indeed, for the Lion all day long. Gotta love it. So, what are we at? We're about 9 minutes past. Let me just re-welcome you if you've joined in. I'm watching the numbers steadily climb in this here preview right now. There's
Nice. Working through 40 angles. Yeah, I'm working through 40 Witch Elves at the moment.
For about the next 50 minutes or so, we're going to be previewing a whole bunch of Warhammer stuff across Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Underworlds, and the Horus Heresy. So there's going to be lots of stuff.
Cool. Getting close.
Yeah, I think we're about ready. Is there anything I've missed?
I think you've covered it all.
All right, so we're going to up the volume because we're going to
We know
into it
where
now.
people are from. We know what they're painting. We've introduced us.
And the Australians are having breakfast.
That's important.
Oh, what a time to be alive. Right, well, I tell you what, why don't we throw over to the third member of our broadcast team, the man behind the technology.
Alrighty, let's have a look what we're going to see. First one. What are we seeing? 40k first. The leagues, isn't it? Yeah. Cool, leagues of voting. Ooh! Get a proper look at the Chthonians. Sagator. Okay, I like the tank. Oh, he's cool. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. That is amazing. I like that. I'm sold on these. I think oh, a land forge. That thing is huge. He's cool. Oh, cool. Yep, an army set. Oh, I really like the cover art for that. That is cool.
A lot of Leagues of Votann. That was one heck of a reveal. Where do we even start?
So this is the remainder of everything we've got for Leagues of Votann. So we've seen a smattering of miniatures throughout the last kind of few months, since April the 2nd, I think it was. Good times. But this is everything now. So with this video, we've now absolutely everything that's coming for the release of the Leagues of Votann, which are the new army for Warhammer 40,000. And as well as announcing the new miniatures, which we'll take a closer look at in a little bit, we can also tell you about the army launch set for the Leagues of Votann, which is the first place you'll be able to pick up.
All right, so we can turn them down for a bit. So this is going to be the first place you can grab the box set, which is pretty sweet.
What we had for Black Templars and for the Beast Snagger Orcs when they released a few years ago.
Yeah.
So this is your first chance to kind of, if you really want to be on the ground floor with the Leagues of Votann, you want to be kind of in that first expeditionary fleet, this is the box for you, and you can start your army with it. But there's plenty of new stuff in there.
This guy's cool.
This is the I'm Here champion, who is a close combat focused character model for the Leagues of Votann army, and is an absolute wrecking machine, as you can clearly see.
Yeah, so he's literally a battering ram. So if you look at the detail on this guy, he's got that kind of iconography of a ram on the top of him, and he's got these huge power packs on his back, which are mass drivers, which basically catapult him across the battlefield. So he can literally run into units, buildings, vehicles, and just send them flying. He's just an absolute wrecking ball of destruction. He's got some options that come with the kit. So
this is pretty sweet.
With that enormous hammer, and as you can imagine, great big power hammers are pretty solid for any army, but the Leagues of Votann have got pretty good kits, so that's going to hit even harder than something like an Imperial equivalent Thunder Hammer. You can also kit him out with an axe, which is made of basically antimatter and can cut through almost anything. So that's your kind of way of getting through and unwounding pretty much anything in 40k. So you've got a few options there, and it gives you like a powerhouse combat character to just catapult into the enemy lines.
Yeah, I think
He looks like he's got like a twin-linked heavy bolter on his left arm.
Weaponry for me, I've been really enjoying watching sort of the reveals as they come out on WarhammerCommunity.com and seeing sort of the technology that's underpinning the Votann as a faction, and his sort of weapon concealed inside his gauntlet is, I think it's called an Autok pattern combi bolter. So it's using that same sort of technology that's been sort of visible throughout humanity for a very long time, and like straight death. But the hammer in particular, as I understand it, is a really
without a doubt, Avelion. This could be really, really cool mixing with like some KO bits. You've definitely got a bunch of cool new KO models out of this.
And effectively, if you think of that kind of like dwarven archetype, these are your relic weapons. These are the ones that a master craftsman has kind of forged out of the rarest, most powerful minerals and ores and heaviest metals and arcane technologies. So these are like the best of the best weapons. The miniature itself is really cool. So as Votann, as the Leagues of Votann warriors kind of increase in rank, they get more and more of that kind of iconography, that kind of gold filigree work on them. So they become more ornate, as you can imagine, as they become higher ranked, and it's got like nice little touches. You could, if you want to, you could make this quite a painted piece as well. Quite impressive looking miniature.
Yeah, there's some really, really cool minis here.
Yeah, no kidding. A couple of questions about options. The kit has two head options. They're both bared heads, not to be confused with bare heads. And then he obviously has the mass hammer or the dark star axe as well. And Yeah, I'm very excited. But he is by no means alone within this set.
There's loads.
The very, very exciting Uthar the Destined, who is a special character amongst the Leagues of Votann, right?
That's right. So he's the only named character in the Codex when it drops. But he is the Destined, which means that there's like a prophecy basically about him that he's going to do great things for the Leagues of Votann. The model is based on the same core miniature that the Carl that we've seen already is based on, but is more kind of ornate. So he's got that double-headed bear backpack iconography, that idea of like Uthar.
Yeah, I do like the colours for him.
The bear almost. He's got a plasma blade, which is like a better power weapon, basically.
A plasma blade, okay.
The Imperium wish they had swords that good. In game terms, he is an incredibly powerful force multiplier, basically. So you can put him at the center of your army, and he gives rerolls and bonuses and all abilities. So this is like a linchpin model that you can build.
So this guy's like much more of a center focal point.
If you don't want to, you can take this model and you can build him as a standard Carl designed to be a hero that you create of your own creation.
Cool.
Quite a lot of options in that kit as well for both aesthetically in terms of how it looks, bare head, helmeted head, different kind of creatures that you can have on the back, different weapons. So you can. It's a flexible kit, but one of the things you can make with it is that special character.
Yeah, absolutely. And he thinks like the difference. Again, you've got the.
They're going to look really nice in a bunch of different colours.
Disintegrator or the combi bolter. So there's nice flexibility.
Yeah, the red's really nice. The grey, like the blue-grey underneath, definitely accentuates that red really nicely as well.
This is the guy for you, and as somebody's pointing out, yes, double tactical rock, because quite frankly, he needs the height advantage.
Yeah, also, I think part of it as well is to make sure he looks cool when he's facing off against other cool characters, right? So if you have this guy up against a Space Marine captain, you don't want him to be too short, because then your battle won't look as dramatic and cool as possible. So, but it also, one of the nice things about that rock is it kind of nods to the kind of mining origin of the Leagues of Votann. So you can imagine that's like a rocky asteroid that's full of minerals and ore and stuff. So a little bit of the story of the army is sprinkled throughout the base.
Yeah, absolutely. This shot.
So this is the army set. This is pretty sweet. And what I like about this looks like we're getting 2 troops.
It's a pretty mighty collection. So you've got Uthar the Destined that we just talked about, and the I Hear Champion. But you also have 2 squads of Hearthkin warriors, and then the Hernkin Outriders, Hernkin Pioneers, which are on the sort of grab bikes. And that is everything you need to sort of start your Leagues of Votann army.
Yeah, it's pretty much a combat patrol. So you can make a combat patrol out of it, and it's not 500 points depending on how you want to put the units together and build the options. But yes, it's a really solid start to an army. It's quite a lot of firepower on those bikes, and the core troopers in the league.
It does look like there's 2 champions there. You can see top unit on the front right, and then in the middle of the other unit, we've got 2 champions. So there are 2 unit leaders there.
One of my things, it's nice to see these all sort of in such a concentration, and you get a real sense of how sort of the Ironkin sort of stand in amongst them. There's a couple of little Ironkin helmets sort of bobbling around in the units as one.
Just behind Uthar, right at the front, you can see the Ironkin with his kind of domed chrome head.
It just feels super nice that they've got like little sort of mechanical intelligence sort of noodling around with the kin. It's great, love it. Right.
Yeah, especially since that named character is actually a dual kit.
Rapture, press some buttons. We're back. Inside the box, you also get a codex which contains obviously all the lore and everything that you would need to know about your new army, along with all the rules.
Yeah,
I do like the codex cover. This is really nice. They've been knocking the codex covers out with 40k lately. Some really nice covers.
You'll be able to get that version of the codex. Otherwise, it is the same as the standard codex. Will be released very soon afterwards. But your first chance to get hold of that codex is in that army launch set. And it's got everything you'd expect from a codex. So obviously, the first time we've ever had a codex for the Leagues of Votann. So all of the lore, a lot of the lore will be pretty much brand new. And it's got everything you expect: crusade rules and stratagems and data sheets and everything.
And there's also a lot of transfers in this set. So there you go. Right. But of course, we showed more than just the contents of this army box within that teaser video.
Sony Berserker with Mole Grenade Launcher. This is cool.
Mole Grenade Launcher, which not only has a very long name, but also looks pretty rad. what are the Terrainheim Berserks and why do they need a mold grenade launcher, Eddie?
So we've seen the Terrainheim Berserks already. We saw the units of them, but one of the upgrade options for the units, if you choose to take it, is the mold grenade launcher, which is a bit of a nod back to some of the kind of ancient squat tech that you might remember from yesteryear. But basically, this is a mining-based weapon, so you can fire a grenade underneath the ground, you can burrow underneath and pop up in amongst the enemy, be it they're hiding in a bunker or behind the mountain or something like that. But the thing that I really like about it is...
Nice. Yeah, this is really cool. I like that they're taking the squat stuff, but reimagining it a little bit. It's nice.
Assistant who's following them around, and every time the Ironkin turns, they're basically just trying to be as helpful as they possibly can. So this one is...
Who wants to see an army of these on the channel? Because, you know, maybe we get one on the channel.
Extra ammos and grenades to the gunner.
This is really, really cool.
It's just a lovely little scene, but also a really powerful piece in your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, awesome nod on the back of the Ironkin. You can see that heavy plasma axe. You notice the blade isn't visible, obviously, when it sort of is.
Yeah, if people want to see this on the channel, we will try to make it happen. YouTube member and Patreons will definitely go a long way to helping making this happen for us.
The plasma is like different colors depending on what kind of plasma it's doing, or what it's just hit, or what's in the atmosphere, and all sorts of different things. So, a good excuse to do some fancy painting where you sound like.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said, "Is that not a Space Marine homeworld?" Well, it was a Space Marine homeworld, but then since the Votann are like pre-imperial, who knows? I can imagine they'll have a dispute over naming. Should they ever meet any sort of teal armored Space Marines? Who knows? Right. What else have we got? Here is the Brodd Iron Master. And again, a lot of Ironkin, this sort of symbiotic sort of nature going on with the kin of Votann and their sort of Ironkin. I really like the idea that no matter it's contained within their lore that kin are kin regardless of whether they're flesh or iron. And here you have the Iron Master surrounded by essentially his allied,
his assistants.
Sort of abominable intelligences. I don't want to be too hard on them.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't use that phrase, but perhaps the Mechanicus would. So you've basically got two different types of mechanical assistant there. You've got
Dorothy, so that's a weapon upgrade for the unit.
The three at the top are cogs, which are not quite as advanced as the Ironkin in terms of their kind of mental capacity. So if you think about them more like combat familiars or pets or something like that. So the Ironkin at the bottom is kind of a comparable intelligence to one of the Leagues of Votann warriors, one of the kin, and will kind of be as helpful as possible and can have like detailed conversations and even be involved in kind of tactical decisions. Whereas the cogs are really just there to kind of fulfill a function or a role. So think about them like familiars, basically.
It adds another thing to our which familiar is best.
It does. They seem pretty well armed for familiars as well.
Somebody said, "What is that gun?" I'm going to tell you what the gun is. The Brock here Iron Master is equipped with a graviton rifle and a graviton hammer.
Graviton rifle. Ooh. So yeah, this is one squat and a bunch of mechs. And the mech on the bottom left is apparently, equal to the flesh one. John Castle there, thank you very much for joining our YouTube members. You've got the cool little emotes now. You also get your name in all our videos.
You might want to consider having an Iron Master in there. It also gives you like a ranged hero as well, if you'd rather do your killing from far away than charging with mass drivers into the middle of the enemy.
Much appreciated. Every little YouTube member helps. We'll be live about 3 times a week. We'll try to. This guy. Oh, the unhelmeted head is just as cool.
Which is a
wow.
So Grimnir is in the center, but there's an alternate option which you can see on the right hand side, which gives you a different head. What is a Grimnir? I guess is the real question.
So a Grimnir is an important part of Leagues of Votann culture. They do a few different things for the Leagues of Votann. So in game terms,
this is my favorite model of the set.
But unlike the Psychers and things like
I like that he's got more refined versions of those mechs.
The Grimnir is a designed Psyker, so all of the Leagues of Votann organic kin are created as clones through clone schemes, which are basically like templates.
Yeah, we'll do a proper recap, checking out all the reveals as well, Revan.
So they've created one to fulfill the role of Psyker within their armies. But they do a little bit more than that. They're also the closest thing that the Leagues of Votann have to priests. in an otherwise relatively kind of secular culture and society. And you can see from the kind of style of the miniature that it's nodding a little bit to that kind of ancient Nordic idea of the kind of wise old wizard and his ravens following him around. But obviously 40k'd upright, so the wise old wizard is a powerful psyker, and the ravens are actually robots with heavy bolters slung under them. But they're not heavy bolters; they'll have a cool,
yeah, I can probably
appropriate name.
They're equipped with aura bolters.
Well, there you go. Loads better.
And he's carrying his ancestral ward stave. So there you go.
Yeah, it could be really cool. Want to include a runesmith in your KO army? This is the dude to use.
Sort of what the nature of his psychic power is.
So I haven't actually looked at the psychic powers yet. So,
That's very exciting.
No, I'm just going to go with no.
But I'm speculating here. But his rock pile does not look naturally formed.
I think he's kind of levitating up, isn't he? He's kind of walking up over the. Or she.
Getting off with an AK-47. Love it.
Absolutely.
But yes, there's a pile of stones there. You can imagine kind of levitating up using his psychic powers. And again, it's kind of nodding to that mining aesthetic almost that kind of is a theme throughout the Leagues of Votann range, where you've got this idea of a kind of rocky battlefield. So they'd look very, very cool, I think, very appropriate at home if you wanted to do them in like a moonscape or a lunar surface almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite a fan of just buying the odd random dwarf and painting them up. And if I do nothing else with the Leagues of Votann, it's this guy. The question is whether that army box is going to put.
I think this might be my favourite model in this range. So this is such a good, and especially with the two supporting cogs there as well. I think.
Yeah, this is.
One of the
yeah, this is my favourite model in the range.
By any means, the biggest thing.
This thing.
Here you go.
Look at how many guns.
And fortress. It looks designed for rough terrain and exploring. Tell me more, Eddie.
So this is the largest miniature in the Leagues of Votann army. This is their mainline battle tank. So it does a few things. You can see it's absolutely covered in weapons. There's all sorts of bolt or
yeah, so it looks like it's got a front-mounted weapon there. We've got the two.
It's got your main cannon on the top, which has a few different options. All of the guns are ruinously powerful. It's also very durable, so it's got both reinforced armor and force fields built into various different parts of it, so it can take the hits pretty well. It's also a transport, so you can carry 12 of your kin around, so it fills a role. The doors are pretty cute, yeah, but less cute when some Chthonic berserkers come charging out with plasma axes, I imagine.
Yeah,
but this fills a number of roles in your army. So this is your mainline battle tank, but it's also your transport, and it's kind of akin to something like a land raider crossed with a hammerhead. It's probably the way to think about it.
Love it. Also, you said akin, which has me chuckling. Here are some close-ups.
Oh, there's even missile launchers on it. Look at that.
With the sort of windscreen dome taken off the front. Somebody said, "Is that transparent plastic?" The answer is yes. And here you have the driver and his kin co-pilot. I like to assume gunner. I have no idea who's doing what. Who knows? The gun on top is particularly fearsome, right?
Yeah, so you've got a few options, but the one that is on screen right now is the Magna rail cannon, and basically it uses similar sort of tech than the tower figured out. So it's a rail gun equivalent, so it can punch through invulnerable saves. It can also do some pretty nasty stuff, like if you roll the right combination of dice, you can basically keep doing wounds to a unit after the initial model has died. So even though it's only a single shot weapon, you can wipe out chunks of squad just with the sheer velocity of the hit. Basically, you can shoot through multiple models, which is pretty fun.
Love it. Fantastic.
I can hear Doggo getting a little bit upset with me.
When the Votann first set off into the stars and found themselves, drifting towards those score. Oh, look at this army! That's amazing. That these would have been originally sort of designed for exploration and finding where all the precious minerals are. But like everything in their entire faction is so well sort of turned towards purposes of warfare.
Yeah, it looks very kind of near future explorator thing, doesn't it? So you could almost imagine something like this, exploring Mars in 100 years or something. But they've got a really nice mix of aesthetic between that kind of near future human sci-fi sort of vibe, mixed with that classic dwarven archetype with kind of hints of Viking and Anglo-Saxon and all sorts of kind of rich mythology mixed in amongst them as well. So if that's your army shot, that's everything in.
Oh, okay. This thing is huge. Sorry about that. Just had to go give her a snack.
They could be fighting over
that thing is huge.
It's a really cool looking army. I think it's going to be interesting to see it on the tabletop. And obviously we're going to take a closer look at things like some of the rules and exactly what.
I really as a full army, they look great together. Yeah.
It is, yes. So the army box is on its way in September, and those of you with a calendar to hand who are in Europe will have noticed that it is now September. It is the first. It's the 1st of September, so you don't have to wait too long at all before you can have the first of these models in your hand, along with the codex.
A couple of comments in the chat that are probably worth addressing. Somebody says that is not a land train. You are correct, as it said on the label. It's Hecaton Land Fortress.
True. If you wanted to buy 3 of them and roll them around together, that's on you. That's cool.
I'm not your mum. I can't stop you. Somebody says, "Where are the guard?" I've seen that one or 2 times. It's one of my. The guard will happen in due time. I mean, if you think you've waited a while for some Imperial Guardsmen, imagine like misty-eyed Adam Trope, whose first ever Warhammer 40,000 models were squats back in the day. I think they were called Space Dwarfs.
Oh, so cool. Codex roadmap. I like this. Chaos Demons have just come out. We've got Squats, or Leagues of Votann, and Militarum and World Eaters.
We can give you a bit of a sense of when these things are coming. So right now, if you hop over to gamesworkshop.com, you will notice that Codex Chaos Demons is available for pre-order and will be dropping in stores this weekend. We know that the army box for the Leagues of Votann will be landing in September with the Leagues of Votann Codex hot on its heels. And then in winter this year, we will have first the Astra Militarum and then the World Eaters close behind. So it is an exciting few months ahead.
Cool. Like I like this. I like that they're telling you what the 2 books are. I don't like the guessing game of the books. I like that we're getting told the 2 books that are coming out.
Like, sort of like undiscovered countries, a little bit familiar old nostalgia wrapped into one. And then we had a little bit of a tease a few weeks back of some of the sort of forthcoming things for the Astra Militarum. And then who knows?
I think with those last 3 codexes, the fact that you've waited till the end of all the other codexes means that you've probably got some pretty cool stuff to look forward to.
Seconded. Right. Cool. So we're about halfway through our time, but nothing like halfway through the reveals. Raph, do you want to take us on to the next subject?
All right. What are we going to see next? AOS? Oh, no. Quick little nether maze. Ooh. These are cool. Well, the first thing I saw looked wicked. He's cool. He's really cool. I love the little fish flopping about. Underworlds, but like they're always cool minis.
Underworlds, Eddie, tell us all about the Gore Chosen of Drom.
So the Gore Chosen of Drom.
These are cool.
Brand new Warhammer Underworlds warband for Nethermaze. They are 3 character warbands, so they are towards the elite end of the spectrum. And we have seen some cool warbands before for Underworlds, but we haven't seen any for very ranges of Shadespire. So it's nice to see the Blood Gods with some new followers.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's what I thought. Anxiety of Justice.
A very different kind of flavour of Cornet warband than what we've seen before, which have always been sort of based on the your kind of battle line units, whereas this is very definitely a kind of 3 character warband. So you've got in the centre, you've got your priest, Drom himself, and then you've got his kind of fiery smith on the right, which we have seen that miniature before, but he's in this warband. And then on the left, I think is my favourite, which is basically a character which is well on his way to turning into a Korgoroth.
Oh, that's cool. The dude on the left is like partway into turning to a Korgoroth.
I already imagine that guy's going to be an absolute powerhouse of muscle and death.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love you mentioned that he's on his way to becoming a Korgoroth. You can see sort of those first sort of elements of sort of transmutation of flesh, as it were, right?
Yeah, I remember seeing the Korgoroth for the first time and being like, how does that happen? And it kind of answers it pretty well, actually. Is the missing link, as it were, between mortal and whatever a Korgoroth is.
This is cool.
Yes, quite. Also, enormous shout out for Underworlds.
Everyone's welcome in Khorne. You know, Khorne cares not.
Yeah.
All bodies.
Yeah. Love the socially acceptable dad bod on the right.
A little glimpse of the rules are on their way. It is worth talking about, I guess, what this warband does for you in Underworlds. As you would expect, as devotees of Khorne, they are incredibly good in a fight. But because Drom is a priest of Khorne, we're going to see some things that not really
definitely could. Jade
As
Earthy.
subtle as Khorne gets with some of the abilities.
Yeah, go on. So do you want to run us through?
Yeah, so basically, the way this guy works is that you can force models to charge. So you can either use that on your own models, or you can use it on enemy models. Now that has all sorts of game things you can do with it. So you can move enemy models off objectives into your models. You can force enemies who don't want to be in combat to be in combat with you, and then hit them with your own characters. So it's a really, really flexible little ability that really can mess up an opponent's plans and make it much easier for your...
Yeah, this is really cool. I really dig this warband. I know it's just Underworlds, but they always have cool minis Underworlds, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea of being able to haul those warbands off of objectives that I'm struggling to sort of contest. So for me, that's been
Yeah, like there should be a cool ability in Nevermaze. The ability to like pull enemies off objectives while you're playing with an elite force should be really fun.
Yeah, if you play someone who's got objective heavy, you can pretty much just force them to not play that game and decide that you are going to have a fight whether you like it or not, which is exactly what Khorne would want. So it plays very differently to the Khornate warbands we've already seen, but it's still very much all about collecting skulls.
Yeah, so this is the Gorehulk, who is that sort of on his way to
Yeah.
model.
This dude is cool. Like, I really want to read more on the lore of this dude. Like, if he's partway to becoming like the Korgorath, this is cool. Like, how does it sort of happen? How does it work? Cool narrative behind him.
Basically, he's got two different attacks. They're both short-range combat attacks, but one of them is a kind of stun attack, basically, so you can stop the enemy from doing all sorts of things by having done it. The other one is
choking grip.
That's your choking grip, yeah. And the other one is your crushing grip, which is just a pure damage dealer. But the thing that's nice about it is, obviously, he's in that warband that allows you to force enemy models to charge you. Then you can choking grip the enemy model, forcing it to kind of like take away lots of its abilities and making it difficult for them to get out of the way. And then you can hit them again, so you can hit them multiple times in the same turn without this guy even charging. So there's some really nice combos, even without looking at some of the cards that you can play with these guys as well. So it's going to be a really fun warband to play, I think.
Nice. Yeah. So somebody in the chat says, "Who is your main Adam?" I think there's a reference to, which is my default warbands to go to. So I have played more games with Steelheart's Champions, the original sort of in that first Shadespire box, than every other warband I own put together. But I have a secret thing for the Fire Stairs, whose name has just gone out of my head. What is that?
I'm sure the chat will enlighten you.
I've literally gone a blank, because they were the first time I ever tried the contrast paints on model. So, there we go. Right. So here we go. Coming soon for Warhammer Underworlds.
Cool. Like,
it's really quite soon, right?
I'm surprised.
Very soon. Again, this is a September release. The chat has told chosen accident.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, of course. And side note, not really relevant, but one of them lived inside the glove box of my car for about 6 months, because I brought him into work to show what I'd done with the contrast paints, and he stayed there for ages.
Well, I mean, he's used to the depth of
the sweltering heat of the holes. I don't know.
Probably still thought he was trapped in some kind of
cool bunch of models. This would be a really cool like paint project, like all Warhammer Underworld stuff. They're always fun little paint projects.
Staying for a little while longer in the Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the Mortal Realms. Still to come though, we've got more Warhammer 40,000 and some Horus Heresy. So let's continue with this Warhammer Age of Sigmar video.
Have you been a victim of unjust destruction at the hands of rampaging saurians? Do you wish you had a pair of big, strong arms to butcher your slaver problem? For creature problems, great and small, call the Bloodfell Hunter today. Make all service with no leftovers.
Oh, okay. This dude looks sweet already. Ooh, new hunter model. That's really cool.
Chaz lost it over the poor old crab. So we have now seen a new model for the Ogre Moor tribes. This is the Bloodpelt Hunter.
All right.
And he's a curious looking fella.
Yeah.
What is he?
So for Ogre Moor tribes, so maybe we're not seeing sons and ogres combined.
And this is a kind of loner of the ogre tribes, basically. So he is a monster hunter expert. So you can see there that he's got an enormous great crossbow, which, you know, it's with the power of a ballista. He's also got like a variety of different weapons, including harpoons and all sorts of stuff. And all of them are basically designed to take out monsters. So if you're up against a kind of monster-heavy army, which there are a lot of them around currently in Age of Sigmar, almost every army you face has got some variety of monster. This is one of your units to kind of deal with that threat at range. While the rest of your unit deals with the battle line. And
I like the head. I like that it's just random.
He's got an interesting trait for an ogre, which is that when he takes out a monster, he almost always takes a trophy of something. And the reason that's interesting for an ogre is that usually they eat everything, right? So it's incredibly rare for an ogre to decide not to eat a part of a thing. So the other ogres think he's a little bit weird, maybe for keeping things like the heads of some kind of saurian beast or the pelt of a bear to keep him warm, or antlers or something as a kind of trophy. But he doesn't care. He's a loner. That's his thing. And this guy is going to form part of your ogre Moor tribes army.
Is it weird that I really love the pelt / head of that bear type creature on his back? I think it just looks amazing. I kind of want to know what it's from.
Yeah, I think that's one of the nice things about like lots of your kind of Age of Sigmar monstery things is that you get little hints to the wider setting, and maybe at some point we will see some of these things in more detail, and we'll see where that weird saurian head from, or what that bear creature is.
A bespoke quiver.
It is. Yeah, he's using that to hold on to his arrows. So that's pretty cool. Everyone needs to accessorize.
Yeah, you've got to love it. So
I'm pretty sure this is going to replace the Icebrow Hunter because he's got the exact same weapon loadout.
And quite unexpected, I think. I hadn't really imagined that we might get a cool new sort of hunter of beasts. So very welcome.
You could do quite a cool. It fits in nicely with the kind of Beastclaw Raider sort of vibe. If you wanted a kind of roving ogre head, and one of the things that's quite nice, I guess, is he sort of fills that gap between your heavily armored infantry ogres and the wandering.
Yeah, I assume this is replacing the Icebrow Hunter then.
Crosses those two a little bit, so it feels cohesive as an armor. When you put
it has exactly the same weapon loadout as an Icebrow Hunter. It's got the harpoon and the crossbow.
To essentially
so to me, this is going to replace it.
Slink around in sort of out of sight of the enemy and move if he's not.
And the way they're describing rules sounds exactly like an Icebrow Hunter.
Engaged.
So essentially like a little bit of repositioning for better shots and stuff. And that
he's quite sneaky in an army that is full of a lot of brute force.
Yeah, not a lot of subtlety. Typically.
Yeah. He gives you some interesting tactical options for an ogre army. But obviously, he's still got a massive crossbow, which is pretty unsubtle, and he's still going to eat you in a fight. So he's not that subtle.
Super. Yeah, I love it. Now that is not the only Warhammer Age of Sigmar kit we're going to show you.
It's true.
There may be something a little bigger.
Oh. So it is. So we are seeing gargants as well.
Well, look at this. Little book of stories for the squishies. Well, I has got a real story. Behemoth was coming back, and the world was trembling. Till the hammer god killed him stone dead with his tiny sheeting hammer. And now they think we're done, broken. But they is wrong, and we don't forget. King Brodd's got a bone to pick.
We're getting King Brodd! We are getting Brodd. Brodd is getting a model. I love the little things. Oh, wow.
He's a big boy.
He is. So this is literally the biggest character in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. This is King Brodd of the Sons of Bahamut, a mega gargant. If you have been following Age of Sigmar since
This is cool.
since the battles of the Realm Gate Wars, you will remember.
And so, no, this is Sons of Bahamut, so we are not getting a joint battle tome.
During the Realm Gate Wars, when Bahamut was slain.
So this is something really cool. This is the second character from the Realm Gate Wars that now has got a miniature. Recently, actually third, because I guess you can include Gardas, but then just got the Lady of Vines, and now we've got King Brodd. This is cool. I hope they're looking at more of those characters that were involved in those stories.
Like many of the other,
He's a mega gargant.
he has grown over the years, swollen with the power, the unleashed power of Bahamut, which is now flowing through his sons, and has become basically the mightiest champion of the giants, of the gargants in the mortal realms. And he goes through the realms, spreading the story of him witnessing the death of their father, Bahamut, at the hand of Sigmar, rallying the other gargants to his cause. He's effectively the de facto leader of the Sons of Bahamut, but he's also a priest. So he's kind of surprisingly good orator for a gargant. And the other Sons of Bahamut.
So these are from the main Age of Sigmar books, but definitely Realm Gate Wars is a great place to start, which includes things like Lady of Vines in there, Garda starts in them, Vander's Hammerhand, Brodd does feature in them.
A little bit like your knight, I suppose, in Warhammer 40,000.
Sure.
But this is a named character, and it's got all sorts of very cool stuff on it. So the most kind of striking thing, I suppose, is that dragon head. So you can imagine one of the ancient drakes, maybe ridden by a stormcast, thought they could take this guy out. Not so much.
Now it's a fancy hat.
Now it's a hat. He's also the biggest hammer.
That is a Sylvaneth shield.
With a tree with what appears to be a stone column attached to it. And he's covered in creepers, which are a thing that's been introduced, which are basically little helpers for the gargants, and they do things like apply their war paints and probably dentistry.
It sounds so wholesome.
I mean, I'm sure they're horrible little skittering destruction creatures, but that one in the top right looks like pretty adorable, right? Like all in and amongst the giant's hair there. But if you're wondering how the giants had the dexterity to thread little tiny bones and skulls into their hair and beards, now we know they've got little creeper friends who do it for them.
If we can just dive back for 1 second, Raph, trying to keep us on track, I imagine. I just want to call out how incredible the face is on this model.
Yeah, I really like the face on Brodd.
Just like the sublime job that the miniatures design team have done with the sculpting, but also whoever painted this miniature must have spent, I'm assuming, hundreds of hours. Just absolutely something else. The first time I saw it, I was absolutely captivated. But that picture there on the left really just is unbelievable. Also, somebody in the chat said, "Why has he got a symbol of corn?" I assume it's because he crushed the life out of some ne'er-do-well champion of corn.
He's got all sorts of icons and symbols on him. So you've got a symbol of corn there, but he's also got
this is cool.
He's also got a bit of a Leviathan shell. He's got some bits of
anything he wants. He's big enough to take.
If you're holding a shield and he wants it, he's
really cool stuff.
But the miniature is very cool because of the way that it's built, and because of the headdress and the kind of horns on its back there. It stands a little bit taller than the rest of your gargant, so it'll look quite appropriate. One of my favourite things is, if you look at the hand there, he's got the rings which are made of crowns from kingdoms that he's slain.
Yeah.
So he's kind of wandered through the mortal realms, smashing forces of order and taking the crowns as little rings.
Really are brilliant.
Which is quite a fun little thing. But there's every other mega gargants are already an incredible kit, but this one I think is takes it to a whole other level. Very, very cool. This is a model that you can use basically at the centre of your Sons of Bahamut force, and it's going to be a powerhouse in the game as well. He's a powerful model just from being a mega gargant, but he's also a priest. He's also a force multiplier for the rest of your gargant force. So watch out for this guy if you're playing against Sigmar.
Poor doggo wants pats.
Appreciative of the incredible levels of detail they've gone into it. There are some extremely funny comments about how much lotion he needs for his knees before the.
Yeah, this is really cool. I really dig it. But most importantly, we've seen Ogres and Sons of Bahamut get their battle tomes named, so it means we're not getting a combined tome, which is good. I don't want to see destruction. I've always had combined tomes.
King Brodd, the sort of priest king of the Sons Yeah,
Yeah, that kind of works.
sort of a lovely. What a
But you can
amazing
read about him in the Realm Gate Wars stories if you want to kind of go back and remember the original.
Yeah, as it's saying, you can reread about Brodd.
Back then in kind of Age of Sigmar circles from the people who were right there at the start of the edition.
sort of those characters that sort of underpin the mortal realms that you haven't seen.
Yeah, there was also a little the original Gargant's army in Age of Sigmar was basically like a special detachment that you could use by having him and a bunch of his his Gargant followers. So this is a nice kind of nod back. So as nostalgic as you can get within Age of Sigmar, which is only 7 years old, 6 or 7. Who knows? The time flies.
There we go. Right. There's a little bit more.
There's more.
For the mortal realms.
I'm assuming we're going to see the battle times for Zinch and Lumineth. No, they said battle times for both, so I don't think we're going to see. Oh, we're going to see a proper look at all the cow stuff. We're going to get a launch box, I reckon. Are we? They're cool. New Chosen. Is this a launch box, maybe? Yep, well, cool. Launch box for the slaves.
So the Slaves of Darkness are set to return. We saw a few of these bits the last time you and I were doing a Warhammer preview.
Yeah, this is cool.
And here we see a bit more. Fill us in on this release for Slaves of Darkness.
Yeah, so we knew they were coming. We knew the Slaves of Darkness were on their way, and the armies of the Ever-Chosen, the black-clad killers of chaos, were marching. But we can now talk to you about the army set, which is on its way. Which
Cool.
is the first time, a little bit like what we saw with the League of Votann, the first time you'll be able to get your hands on some of the new miniatures, and the first time you'll be able to get your hand on the battle tome. So some of these miniatures we've seen before, some of them we haven't. So we've got the Ogroid in the top right there, which are your kind of heavy-hitting elite.
Yep, the Ogroid Therodons. That's a whole army of I want an Ogroid army.
You've got the Demon Prince, which is the you can see in the middle of the army there. That is the Demon Prince we previewed previously, which is the multi-part, incredibly flexible kit with all sorts of options. You can build it as any of the Chaos Gods. You can also, where you're so inclined, build it as its Warhammer 40,000 incarnation.
Yes,
And then the kind of meat of the box, I suppose, is that huge unit of Chosen. You can see at the front there. And these models are just phenomenally cool.
Every single one of these looks like
Chosen look amazing.
Yeah, they look as good as Chaos Lord looked about a decade ago, right? So, like, you look at the detail of them, even down to that one at the front there with the massive two-handed axe. You can see the detail in his eyes. He just looks like a stone-cold black armored killer, basically.
I love the one top left. Is probably my favorite with the hammer.
Multi-build options, so you've got a few.
Or top right. Ooh, one of those two.
Changeability with things like heads and weaponry and things like that. The detail on them is beautiful. You can imagine these painted up in all the various different incarnations of Khorne and Tzeentchian and Nurgle and Slanesh. But they look pretty good in black and gold. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Amen.
Lovely detailing on things like the banner there as well. And all of the weapons are kind of...
Yeah, the painting of like the burning runes and all that on the icon is really cool.
So you've got
These are really nice.
recurring glowing red power rune, which links back to things like Archean shields. So you've got that kind of recurring motif across the whole.
Yeah, you'll most certainly be able to ally them in for Alligator Warrior.
A black market trade in things like the banner is word bearers falling over themselves with that in Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, we've got some pretty cool toys this year already with the Warhammer 40,000 releases, but certainly, absolutely, if you wanted to mix and match between Chaos, between Chaos Space Marines and Chaos Warriors, that has been a perennial favourite of kit badges, hasn't it? To mix the kits together and make some really nice combos. But I mean,
Yeah, this is cool.
Out of the box are stunning examples of Chaos Warriors.
2 launch boxes I'm going to need to get, is it?
And obviously, this set also, as you've talked about, contains the Demon Prince. I think that's the next image that Raph is about Oh, we got the Ogre.
These are my favorite. I love Ogres. I've talked about how I wanted a full army of Ogres. We're going to get it. So
yeah, absolutely. So we've seen these guys before. Former warriors of destruction turned chaos. They, have particular hatred for the forces of destruction under Gorka Morka and are kind of now under the sway of Archaon with a desire to take back their ancestral homelands in the realm of beasts, but very much under the sway of chaos. They're the kind of lieutenants and champions of Archaon's army, looking after his holdings in the Baron, in and around the Baron Spire. Very cool little unit, and very bestial. Those weapons again, kind of linking back into those Chaos Chosen, but a little bit more on the rough and rugged side, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the promised Demon Prince Votann, as Eddie has previously mentioned, comes with a whole stack.
Oh wow! Look at all those different. Yeah, so the Ogre Therodons are Ogroids. These weird creatures that were destruction, and then Gorka Morka sort of betrayed them, and they turned to chaos because of it.
Yeah, and obviously all the things in this box as well will have their own separate release later on. So if you have a Chaos Space Marine army, which we know lots of you do, if you don't want to pick up this bit box and start a Slave to Darkness army, although you should, because Age of Sigmar's great and you'll love the army, you will also be able to pick this guy up.
I think the Nurgle head for me wins. That Nurgle head is really freaking cool.
Demon Princes are in all sorts of factions, so you can have them in Chaos Demons, you can have them in Chaos Space Marines, you can have them in lots of different armies within the different settings. If it's Chaos flavored, you could probably have a Chaos Demon Prince somewhere near you.
All true. Right, and then as you would come to expect from one of these army boxes, the battle tome is found within it, the first way to get your hands on these Slaves to Darkness.
Yeah, and it's a big one as well. So there's lots and lots of stuff in the Slaves to Darkness. In many ways, they are the kind of premier villains of Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Demon Prince isn't exclusive to the box. This is just going to come out probably a few weeks beforehand of the actual release, and then you'll be able to pick it up all separate.
Mastermind of the Age of Sigmar. It also includes things like Bellator and his followers as well. So you've got the kind of full gamut of Slaves to Darkness, which basically encompasses everything within Chaos that isn't aligned to one of the various Chaos Gods or a Beastman. So there's a lot of stuff in this book.
Awesome. Now, something to hopefully...
the Luminous Realmlords cover is nice. And so no Gloomspite gets, everyone. No gets.
Here is the roadmap for seeing us through to early 23 with the Battletome roadmap, which you can see next up is Disciples of Zinch, followed by Luminous Realmlords, and that's kind of like in the offing, like that's kind of news. I mean, we've just seen a battle box released for Luminous Realmlords versus Zinch, so probably
no gets, but I'm happy that we're not getting a combined tome for Ogres and Sons. I'm happy they're individuals. I love that Lumineth Realmlords cover though. Best Lumineth book cover yet.
Impressive new Mega Gargan. You've got the Ogre Trites and the Sons of Behemoth battle tomes for destruction, and then coming in.
The autumn stuff is not the pictures of battle tome. They just haven't fully, I guess, decided.
Limited special edition version of that battle tome, followed shortly after by the standard edition.
Yeah, Revenar, the Demon Prince, is for both game systems. It's a dual kit. It's pretty much like the current kit we have for the Demon Prince reimagined.
Hold firm, one day your dreams will come. Right.
That Lumineth cover is nice.
So let us hold firm and maybe cast our minds back to the Age of Darkness.
So, Horus Heresy now?
Horus is the first and favoured son of the Emperor.
Oh, are we going to get a brand new...
He's one of 18 demigods that were created.
We're getting a plastic Horus.
In the name of mankind. He embodied all of the best qualities that the Emperor himself had.
I was not expecting this.
He was an incredibly charismatic individual. He was a military genius, highly competent. The hosts of mankind would follow him literally into the gates of hell. He was put in charge of all of those armies when the Emperor retreated to Terra to undertake his own great work. The fates rested too heavily on his shoulders. The ruinous powers, the forces of chaos, looked upon this individual and they said, this is our opportunity, this is the weapon, this is the tool that we can use against the Emperor. And at the planet Davin, the War Master was injured, and he was taken to the Davonite lodges, the temples, in order to be healed by the Davonite lodge priests. And it was during that ritual healing that chaos started to worm its way into his soul. He appeared to be the same, only he'd switched sides. He'd led this great rebellion against the Emperor. And then we get to a point 3 years into the heresy where Horus undergoes a transformation and experiences a literal and metaphorical period in the underworld. When he comes back, he's ascended. He's essentially the same model, the same design, the same character, but every single point of him has been rendered in a way that makes it look like he is swollen with the powers of chaos. It's bigger, it's darker, it's more powerful, it's more evil. There's a narrative, there's a story that is moving onwards towards its final destination, which happens at the Siege of Terra. Horus Ascended is the ultimate power-up for your army. He takes everything that's great about your army and magnifies it. It makes it more spectacular in battle, it makes it braver, it makes it more, frankly, demonic. It powers up everything about your army, and it forms the ultimate centerpiece. Horus isn't the only Primarch to have ascended, and there's definitely scope for other Primarchs to go through a similar process, and maybe there's more models in the future that will do the same thing.
So next year we're going to get a plastic Horus.
A character so important to the underpinnings of the Warhammer 40,000 universe that it has an entire heresy named after him.
It's got a whole game.
This is Horus Ascended, and what an unbelievably cool model this is.
This is one of the coolest models ever released for Warhammer, I think. So this is Horus Ascended. If you have your copies of the Horus Heresy rules, you will have been leafing through, and you might have noticed that Horus has two profiles in there. You've got Horus the Warmaster, and you've got Horus Ascended, which basically is Horus swollen with the powers of chaos. So this is him towards the latter half of the Horus Heresy, where the powers of the Chaos Gods are kind of flooding into him. And
yeah, there's got to be. You can see the little bits and pieces.
Embodiment of chaos undivided.
You can see the little bits and pieces in that pile of bones there, which I think is going to be really fun to sort of build.
The cool thing about it for me is that you can see all the little subtle touches all the way through it from the original version that have kind of transformed it. So you've got things like the wolf's head has started to kind of decay a little bit. The claw looks a bit more menacing. Lots of the iconography that was previously like interesting filigree is now obviously chaos spikes. He's pretty unsubtle. He's standing on a big massive pile of corpses, which is a solid nod to being a villain.
We were talking about this just before we came live, and I was like, if you are stood on a 3 feet deep sort of pile of sort of cadavers, broken skeletons, and the ruined corpses of what looks like salamanders to me, you are definitely the baddie, and even Horus must have twigged by now. Yeah. He's a wrong.
I mean, in the latter half of the Horus Heresy, it's actually quite hard to find that many salamanders.
That's very harsh. I'm sorry, salamanders players, if you're out there. The shade was just thrown. These shots here, I'll address the question in the chat. This is a Forge World resin character series model.
Resin.
And
that's
the level
disappointing.
of detail that the designers have captured.
Yeah, it's not plastic; it's a resin miniature.
That face, in particular, you can see it in that sort of top right-hand picture, is just truly unbelievable. We are living in a golden age of awesome miniatures. I'm pretty flippantly excited.
Yeah, I love the little. There's lots of little subtle touches all the way through where you can just see little bits of chaos creeping in. So you've got runes and things marked onto his greaves that weren't there on the previous incarnation. He's obviously covered in skulls. He's got kind of skulls from almost every one of the Loyalist Legion and a few traitors, I think, round his belts, just to kind of show what he's made of.
Yeah, Raph and I were playing the Who Could the Heads Belong To game, trying to work out from like the various Horus Heresy novels and such, who's killed in the presence of or near to Horus who might be a worthy trophy, and that became quite a fun game to play.
I imagine what he might be is the various lieutenants of
Who've
Horus.
just done it wrong.
Oh no, possibly, yeah, but also that like maybe they bring him like here's the head of this person who was betraying you, or this planetary governor, or this praetor who defied you in this particular place.
I mean, this is a sweet model, though.
But yeah, he means business. The other thing that's really nice about this is the version of Horus that you saw in the Horus Heresy cinematic.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
if you go back and watch that, you'll see actually that the subtle things about it are a little bit different from the old Horus model that we've seen already.
Or as if by magic,
So you can see here the differences. So there's all sorts of subtle things. So like all the Lunar Wolf iconography has gone. So there's no, almost no nods at all to the kind of origin as a Lunar Wolf on this anymore, other than the wolf itself draped over his shoulder. But even that started to kind of decay. The skull of the wolf has started to kind of creep through.
Yeah, I mean, you need Big E to fight this, don't you?
Much bigger, like the character is literally bigger, swollen with the power of chaos. Worldbreaker itself looks even more menacing and chaotic than it did. The Talon of Horus looks even meaner. The whole thing is just awesome.
There's an interesting thing that again we were discussing beforehand, which is the sort of Horus Lupercal model on the right. He still looks quite noble. You know, like his features and everything. You could almost believe that he still thinks he's sort of doing the right thing, and then Horus Ascended, like chaos is like fully holding sway at this point. I love it. I can't wait to see him tromping around on battlefields. He is a lot of the points.
I think he is 1,000 points in the game, which
Oh.
puts him like into the region of things like super heavy vehicles and stuff. But I mean, as an ascended Primarch, he can pretty much curb stomp any of the other Primarchs in the game at that point. He is, you know, all the powers of 4 greater beings.
Yeah, Horus Heresy Dark Angels don't wear green, so
mixed in with the best weapons in the galaxy, so he's pretty mega in game.
Yeah, there was a.
he's a sweet mini, like no doubt. I'm disappointed it's resin. I hope they were going to more plastic stuff for the Horus Heresy.
Yep.
Came out and it was sort of a death match between all the products.
I think a rematch might be in order.
Came out on top, and I fear deeply for the rematch. Yeah,
I think that's going to happen. I think
not
that'll
go the way of my boy.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Tremendous. So yeah, we've had an unprecedented sort of slew of amazing releases for sort of Warhammer the Horus Heresy over the last few months since that box game release. It really hardly feels like any time at all has passed, and they've had tanks and dreadnoughts. And
It just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. And Andy said in that video as well, like that Horus obviously isn't the only Primarch that is going to that changes over the course of the Horus Heresy. Both loyalists and traitors come out of the heresy very different into it. So this may not be the last of the Primarchs that we see moving, changing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Also, a good day for like Horus Heresy related news in general. The cover and title of the next.
Fair enough, there, John.
In the sequence for this
Terror, the final book, the End and the Death, which will be multi-part, written by Dan.
Ascended Pharaoh, man.
Very, very exciting. So if you are a Horus Heresy fan, today has been pretty mega, right?
What a time to be alive. Right. We, however, are not done yet. Let's take one last trip to the Dark Millennium. Here is some Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, more Warhammer 40k. So this has got to be Guard, yeah? Oh, no. New Blood for the Blood God. World Eaters? Love it. I like the I love the music behind it. It's special music.
Blood for the Blood God.
Indeed. So we've seen one of the new Khorne Berserkers before, but this is now the full squad in all their cornate glory, and they're just mega, right? So everything you could want from a unit of Khorne Berserkers. This is the full squad. There are 10 in a box. There's 5 that we'll show you in a second. And there's a mix of all sorts of different features, everything that's kind of iconic about Khorne Berserkers. So you've got chain axes, you've got chain swords, you've got some very chaotic looking plasma guns, you've got relics and icons of Khorne.
Helmets with massive crests on the top.
Massive crests. You've got skulls. There's options in the box as well, so you can make them with your kind of Khornate helmet with the symbol of Khorne built into it, which is very iconic. But equally, if you're a fan of unhelmeted heads, there's some very, very angry unhelmeted heads with the butchers.
Now they said there's a 10 model box. There's another 5 minis coming out. They'll show them in a sec.
So I've always loved the Osmotic Guild, that sort of face rebreather thing that a lot of Space Marines have, and they have the angriest looking Osmotic Guilds ever.
They really do. These are really, really angry looking Space Marines. So a couple of things to call out in there as well. They've got some extra weapon options we haven't seen before. So there's a couple of guys in that unit with massive two-handed versions of their chain weapons. So the guy in the top right there, very much channeling some flesh terror sort of aesthetic.
Oh, yes, yeah, right.
A little bit flesh terror there. Who knows what his origin is? But we'll take his word for it that he's a world eater. But you probably got the option in there. You can imagine they already are pretty scary with just a one-handed close combat weapon. You can imagine a two-handed one is probably going to do even more damage and be even more grievous. And again, you see it.
Yeah, here we go, the other side.
There with a double-handed, enormous chain axe, which is probably going to be bigger than even the one that Khan carries around. Yeah, just absolutely loads of really nice little details. These pictures will be up on the community site for you guys to pore over and find all the little nuances and stuff. Pretty flexible kits as well. Lots of the parts are relatively modular, so you can intermix them between each other, and they also mix very nicely with the rest of the Chaos Space Marine range, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you saw from that 140,000 Codex roadmap, they're not a million miles away.
They aren't too far off at all, no. So it won't be too long before.
Can't see a chain hammer, unfortunately, Revan. But really, really cool stuff. No, this is a nice update for a kit that's needed it for so long.
It's a 10 model set, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So you got 10 models, including icons and a couple of alternate weapons with things like plasma pistols and double-handed weapons.
Cool. Yeah, plenty of options for the kit: icons, plasma pistols, different chain weapons.
Not by any measure.
Lots of other stuff on the way, and we have already shown off the Primarch as well. So if you wanted to head over to the community site, I'm sure you can find the article where we showed off Angron himself. But there's even more stuff on the way. But we're not going to show you that today. We just wanted to give you a little bit more with that full unit of combat.
To whet your appetite, as it were. Chaos Fractal 27 says, not 8, boo. To which I would reply, buy enough boxes, and you could just make 8 from each. And then when you get to like 4 boxes, you'd have another unit. And so, if you did 8, you'd actually have 10 units, but that wouldn't be right. You have to keep going up until you hit a new division of 8. Good luck if that's how you want to guide your army. So there we are.
You can always leave 2 in the box.
Yes,
I guess if you really wanted to.
So, I think it is about 2:15 in the morning here in the UK, and we have reached the end of the previews.
All right, so that is the end of the previews. So, end of the previews. There was some really cool stuff in those previews. Really liked the Age of Sigmar stuff. I thought the Underworld Warband was really cool. Leagues of Votann, definitely, I think, have now swung me to their side, without a doubt.
Where you'll be able to get your hands on not just the models for the first time, but the codex. This is everything model-wise that comes inside that box. There's also like 500 little individual transfers, and a codex to get yourself.
Yeah, really like the Leagues of Votann.
And the rules with the Leagues of Votann. We also previewed a few of the things coming out for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. You've got the Gore Chosen of Grom, this amazing.
They were really, really cool. I really like the minis on this warband. Bloodpelt Hunter.
And the biggest, literally, character in the Mortal
And
Realm.
then King Brodd.
King Brodd of the Sons of Behemoth. We slunk to the side and we looked at the Slaves to Darkness with this new army box. Little shout out, by the way, have a look at the writing on that picture when you get a chance and you go onto warhammercommunity.com, all wrapped on back. It's really nice. That is like some crazy chaos alphabet going on right there. Anyway, so this will be your first place to get your hands on all these kits. And the Battletome. Yes, and the Battletome, yeah, absolutely. So, and then we went from here into the Age of Darkness with a new Horus Ascended miniature, absolute showstopper of a model. And then we finished out with a little bit of Blood for the Blood God with the Berserkers. That is, quite frankly, one heck of a preview. If you are one of the people in the chat going, oh no, God, my heart is broken, just think how long the core Berserker fans have been waiting for these models. Since those core Berserkers came out, Guard have had no less than, I reckon, 15 plastic kits across, well, more. Oh, I'm tempted to do maths, but I won't torture you with it. So, all in good time. We just had some free.
It'll be worth the wait.
Be patient. You know, the guard are known for holding the line, and that's all you need to do. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us for this awesome.
Yeah.
And most
So that is.
online, and we hope that you enjoyed it. Hope everybody at Nova enjoyed their one that finished probably a little while ago.
Yeah, and good luck in your games if you're watching from Nova. You've got 4 days of fun games ahead.
Yes, because actually the preview happens before, like.
It's the first kicks off the event.
Amazing.
Alrighty, so that was everything we got to see. Really, really cool stuff. What are people excited for? What was your favorite thing? Before I head off, it's about lunchtime for me. So I'm going to go have some lunch with the fam. But thank you all for coming and joining. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Also, if you want as well, don't forget to join our YouTube members. Definitely helps support the channel and allows us to keep doing what we're doing. We'll be back for a hobby hangout in the next couple of days, maybe even tonight, who knows. And also, we'll be getting some more videos up on the channel soon for you all to enjoy. But thank you all for coming and watching. It's been a ton of fun. I always love doing hangouts with everyone, especially when we've got some reveal shows to look at. This has been great. We will see you all real soon. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. And most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.